Hello and welcome back. Let's continue designing the second real life integration scenario using logic apps. So in the previous video, we've understood the requirement and we've also understood what the source system is going to send and how does the destination system want that data. So now it's time for us to design this interface, right? You can use, you can design the interface on paper. You can do the planning on paper. You can use tools like Visio, depending on the complexity of your interfaces. But being the simple interface, let's just use this PowerPoint and let's try and design. Let's see how the flow of this interface is going to look like, right? So the first thing is customer is using the e-commerce portal, right? And on that e-commerce portal, towards the end of their order, they're presented with this form where they would be selecting multiple options, and they will also select whether they want to receive promotional emails or not, right? So whenever this is submitted, a JSON message is created in a service bus queue. We also know the queue address, exactly which queue we will be receiving this message from. And we also have the sample JSON message that we are going to receive, right? So for the interface, we want to use a logic app to orchestrate this flow. So, and obviously because we are receiving the input data in the service bus queue, the queue is also the trigger for the logic app. So the first shape in the logic app, that is the trigger shape, is going to be the service bus queue. So whenever you receive a message in that queue, your logic app should get triggered, right? What do we want to do in this logic app? So the first thing we want to do is we want to transform the JSON. We have been given a very specific JSON from the destination system as well. And in this case, the transformation is also fairly straightforward. You can see the customer ID is being mapped to the client ID. Contact by email, which is true or false, is being mapped to the email opt-in field as bit. So it's either 0 or 1. And in the preferences, whatever is in the preferences is being mapped directly to the marketing category for the destination JSON, right? So this is the transformation we will do inside the logic app. And we want to send this data as a request body to the CRM API. Now, if you recollect, this is very similar to what we did in the scenario 1, right? But I'm taking a little different approach. Stay with me. And in the enhancement, you would also understand, why I'm sticking to the similar design pattern for the first two exercises, right? So we have just kind of designed the flow of this interface, right? You can use Visio to do a better designing of this, but this is rather a simple interface. So this is sufficient for a developer to get started. Now, it's very important that, before you start any development, you should have some kind of design with you before you start development. Don't just get started on the development and then think about the design. That's not the right way to approach it, right? So even if just on the paper or even just in your mind, it's better to have thought of the design first and then start your development, right? That would be very efficient and you would be able to build much more smart interfaces, right? We've just designed the interface. In the next video, we'll get started with building the interface. See you in the next one.